Number 1. Volvo CX-90. You guys, the 2026 Volvo CX-90 is shaping up to be one of the most exciting luxury SUVs of the year. And honestly, this feels like the perfect blend of Scandinavian design, hybrid performance, and everyday usability that Volvo fans have been craving. Before we get into the juicy details, drop a like, hit subscribe, and tap that bell so you don't miss future walkarounds, first looks, and all things 2026 rides. Let's roll. Right off the bat, the new CX-90 carries that clean, confident Volvo look we've come to love. Sleek bodylines, refined yet bold front end, and a presence that feels both upscale and ready for adventure. This is the kind of SUV that turns heads in the city and doesn't blink when you point it toward winding country roads. Think elegant Scandinavian minimalism, but with a bit more athletic energy than its predecessors. One of the biggest stories here is under the hood. The 2026 CX-90 is expected to lean heavily into hybrid and electrified powertrains, offering smoother performance and improved fuel efficiency without giving up power. That's a trend we're seeing across Volvo's lineup, especially with the XC90 plug-in hybrid continuing strong in 2026 and newer electrified offerings on the way. And that interior, wow! Volvo has always been great at making cabins feel calm, luxurious, and very human-centered, and the latest CX-90 takes that up a notch. Expect big, crisp digital displays, intuitive Google-based infotainment, and quality materials that make every trip feel premium, whether it's school runs or cross-country road trips. The space feels open, the seats are supportive, and the tech just works without overwhelming you. Now let's talk about what's new compared to past models. While the 2026 CX-90 carries forward that classic Volvo luxury, the upgrades are all about making the experience smoother, smarter, and more efficient. The bigger touchscreen and redesigned dashboard bring the tech into the modern era, and updated materials and trim options give this SUV a fresh, contemporary vibe. Inside feels more inviting, and it's clear Volvo listened to what drivers wanted when they updated this generation. Off-road and everyday capability? It's not a rock crawler, but the CX-90's available all-wheel drive and confident chassis give it the composure to handle light trails, gravel roads, and snowy conditions with ease. Year after year, Volvo balances comfort and capability. It's an SUV for life's full spectrum of driving. And of course, safety is always a highlight, with driver assist tech that's intuitive and reassuring on both city streets and open highways. Pricing for the 2026 CX-90 hasn't been fully locked in yet, but looking at Volvo's current lineup, you can expect it to slot in around the premium mid-size luxury SUV range. Strong value for what you get in design, comfort, and hybrid tech. Number 2. Mitsubishi Pajero Sport. The 2026 Mitsubishi Pajero Sport is finally starting to show itself. And if you're into real-world SUVs that can handle both daily driving and serious adventure, this one's worth paying attention to. Mitsubishi has taken everything that made the Pajero Sport a favorite: rugged capability, reliability, and real off-road chops, and given it a fresh new look with some smart upgrades that make this feel like a next-level SUV. Right off the bat, the design really stands out. The front end has been sharpened with a bolder grille and sleeker LED lighting that give it a more confident, modern presence. Along the sides, you'll notice stronger lines and a more athletic stance, and from the rear, it just looks planted and purposeful. It's not a wild redesign, but it's definitely more refined and tougher looking than previous Pajero Sport models. There's a sense that Mitsubishi wanted this SUV to grow up, without losing an ounce of its adventure identity. Under the hood, the big news is the shift toward hybrid tech. Mitsubishi hasn't completely abandoned the traditional powertrain. It's still got grunt where you need it. But the new hybrid setup is expected to give you smoother acceleration, better fuel economy, and more confidence when you're cruising long distances or heading off the beaten path. And for an SUV this size, that's a huge win. Imagine having solid towing capability and still getting decent mileage. That's exactly what this hybrid Pajero Sport is aiming for. Of course, if you love getting off-road, the Pajero Sport hasn't forgotten its roots. With available four-wheel drive systems, terrain-adaptive features, and a suspension that's built to soak up rough trails, this SUV still feels right at home in the wilderness. Whether it's mud, rocks, or sandy trails, Mitsubishi has kept the toughness that made this nameplate famous. You won't be taking it to Dakar, but for weekend missions and serious terrain work, this thing is ready. Step inside and you'll notice the interior has been brought up to speed too. Mitsubishi gave the cabin a refresh with a cleaner layout, bigger touchscreen, better materials, and more comfort all around. It feels more premium without losing that utilitarian logic that makes sense for families and adventurers alike. Plus, the tech inside is more intuitive and connected than older Pajero Sport models. Wireless phone integration, adaptive displays, and smarter safety systems are all part of that new generation package. And that brings us to pricing, always a big question. While final numbers aren't out yet, Mitsubishi is expected to keep the Pajero Sport competitively priced in its segment. That means you're likely looking at excellent value for a real SUV that's ready for both everyday life and weekend getaways. Compared to past models, this one feels like more car, more capability, more comfort, and more tech, without a massive leap in cost. So when you put it all together, the 2026 Mitsubishi Pajero Sport feels like a thoughtful evolution rather than just a facelift. Number 3. Honda Accord. The 2026 Honda Accord is officially on the horizon, and I'm honestly excited, because this might just be one of the biggest refreshes we've seen in years for one of the most iconic sedans on the road. The Accord has been a fan favorite for decades, and for 2026, Honda looks like they're giving it a more confident look, smarter performance, and features that make it feel like a true next-gen mid-size sedan. From the moment you see it, the design feels sharper and more purposeful. The front end has been updated with a sleeker grille and more expressive LED lighting that gives the Accord a modern, almost sporty presence. It still has that clean, timeless silhouette we all love, but the new touches, like a slightly more aggressive stance and refined body lines, make it stand out in a sea of sedans. It's a subtle evolution, but it's definitely one that moves the Accord forward without losing its identity. Now, let's talk power. Honda isn't just giving the Accord a facelift, they're doubling down on hybrid technology. The 2026 Accord is expected to come with advanced hybrid options that give you the kind of smooth, responsive performance you want in everyday driving, along with excellent fuel economy. If you're someone who loves being efficient without sacrificing fun behind the wheel, this could be a big win. And while the Accord isn't an off-roader, of course, what it does deliver is confidence and composure, whether you're cruising down the highway or navigating city streets. Stepping inside, the cabin is where you really notice the upgrade. Honda's given the interior a more refined and modern feel. Bigger screens, more intuitive controls, and nicer materials all around. It feels open and comfortable, like a place you'll genuinely enjoy spending time in. Whether you're heading to work, school, or a weekend getaway, the Accord's cabin makes every drive feel a bit more premium than before. And yeah, there's better tech here too. Everything feels more connected, more seamless, and just easier to use than on past models. One of the coolest things about the new Accord is how it compares to the generations that came before it. The 2026 model feels like a thoughtful evolution, not just a simple redesign. It's more confident in its design language, smarter in how it uses hybrid power, and more polished inside. Past Accords were always dependable and practical, but this one feels like it steps up the game in terms of style and feel. Price is always a big question with something this significant, and while final pricing isn't fully locked down yet, Honda's strategy has historically been pretty sensible. That means you're likely looking at a competitive price point for a mid-size sedan with this level of design and hybrid performance, strong value without compromise. So when you put it all together, the 2026 Honda Accord feels like an exciting next step for a nameplate that's been a staple for so many drivers. It's familiar but refreshed, efficient but engaging, and stylish without trying too hard. If you're in the market for a sedan that checks all the boxes, comfort, economy, modern tech, and a bit of personality, the new Accord might just be worth waiting for. Number 4. Toyota RAV4. The 2026 Toyota RAV4 on the horizon. And honestly, this might be one of the most exciting updates we've seen yet for this beloved SUV. Toyota didn't just tweak a few lines. They basically reimagined the RAV4 for a new generation. And if you're into SUVs that balance everyday comfort with real capability, this one's going to grab your attention. What's really cool is how the design feels sharper and more purposeful. The new RAV4 keeps that familiar rugged silhouette Toyota fans love, but with bolder LED lighting, a more muscular front fascia, and a confident stance that feels ready for both urban streets and weekend adventures. Whether you're cruising around town or pointing it toward a trailhead, the styling feels fresh and modern, like the RAV4 has grown up while still staying true to what made it a bestseller in the first place. Now let's talk power, because this is where the 2026 RAV4 really shines. Toyota has moved to an all-hybrid lineup, which means every model gets an electrified powertrain. No pure gas versions anymore. You've got the standard hybrid that delivers a smooth and efficient ride with around 226 to 236 horsepower. And for those who want more punch, the plug-in hybrid version kicks out up to about 320 horsepower plus a healthy electric-only range. That combo makes the RAV4 feel noticeably more capable, whether you're commuting or hitting long open roads. And while the RAV4 hasn't suddenly become an off-roader like some big SUVs, it really leans into versatility. Toyota's Woodland trim steps up the adventure vibe with raised ground clearance, all-terrain tires, extra LED lighting, and rugged styling cues that make you feel like exploration is the next stop. There's even a sporty GR Sport version for those who want a more dynamic look and driving feel. Inside is where you feel the upgrade every time you sit down. Toyota's planted a standard 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster and given you a choice of 10.5 or 12.9-inch touchscreen with the brand's new Arene software platform. That means smoother connectivity, smarter voice controls, and faster responses. So your phone pairs instantly, navigation feels intuitive, and features like built-in dashcam recording and over-the-air updates make daily life easier. It just feels more premium, more modern, and way more connected than the outgoing RAV4. Now, pricing details aren't fully locked in everywhere yet, but Toyota's recent numbers suggest the base RAV4 starts from a competitive spot in the SUV market, with trims stacking up depending on tech and drivetrain choice. It's still positioned as a high-value SUV, one that's affordable for many buyers but doesn't feel cheap in execution. So compared to past RAV4 models, the 2026 feels like a true evolution, not just a refresh. It's more powerful, smarter, more tech-forward, and better suited for a wide range of drivers. Whether you're upgrading from an older RAV4 or thinking about jumping into your first hybrid SUV, this one feels like a big step forward. So if you thought minivans were done evolving, the 2026 Toyota Sienna is here to prove otherwise. And honestly, it's shaping up to be one of the most interesting family vehicles Toyota has made in a long time. At first glance, the new Sienna just looks cooler. Toyota hasn't gone wild with the design, but everything feels sharper and more confident. The front end looks more SUV-like now, with slimmer headlights and a bolder grille that gives it a tougher presence on the road. From the side, it still has that classic Sienna shape, but the lines are cleaner and more modern, and the new wheel designs really help it stand out. This is definitely a minivan you wouldn't mind pulling up to a nice restaurant in. Under the hood, Toyota is sticking with what works, a hybrid-only setup. And honestly, that's a good thing. The Sienna's hybrid system has already proven to be super reliable and incredibly efficient. And for 2026, it's expected to be even smoother and quieter. You still get great fuel economy without having to think about plugging anything in, which is perfect for road trips, daily school runs, or long commutes. It's not a race car, but the power delivery feels more refined than older models, especially when merging or passing. Now, here's the part that might surprise some people: the off-road capability. Toyota continues to offer all-wheel drive, and there's a bit more focus on light adventure this time around. No, you're not rock crawling, but snowy roads, muddy campsites, and gravel trails are all well within its comfort zone. It's the kind of confidence that makes weekend trips a lot less stressful. Inside is where the Sienna really shines. The cabin feels more upscale, with better materials, improved seat comfort, and smarter storage everywhere you look. The infotainment screen is larger and more responsive. Wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are standard, and there are more USB ports than you'll probably ever need. Families will love the flexible seating, and yes, sliding doors and second-row comfort are still top tier. As for pricing, expect it to start slightly higher than previous years, but not by much. Given the added features, updated design, and standard hybrid powertrain, it still feels like strong value compared to competitors and even compared to older Siennas. When you look back at past generations, the 2026 Sienna feels like the most confident version yet. It's no longer just practical. It's efficient, capable, comfortable, and honestly kind of stylish. If you've ever said, "I'll never drive a minivan," this one might just change your mind.